Good morning. This is First of Vortex. And peace, namaste, all those wonderful spiritual words be with you. I'm so glad to be doing this first video about a journey, a spiritual journey that I've had the opportunity to explore called Reiki. Many of you may already be familiar with Reiki. I'm going to take some time to explain my journey with Reiki, talk about what Reiki means, and then start introducing the subject of Reiki because I plan on having healings and meditations and a lot of content to explore with all my friends, potential followers, and viewers out there. So first and foremost, thank you for joining me, and let's get started. Okay, Reiki, like Ray Charles meets the key to life, like rays of sunlight meet keys of cocaine. Probably not. Reiki. Reiki is a Japanese word, R-E-I-K-I in the English, which is loosely translated to universal life force energy. Some may be familiar in the martial arts with the Chinese concept of qi. Same idea. It is a universal life force energy. It is what in the now quantum theoretical world they know as the field or the Higgs field, right? It may be kind of the self-contained or anthropomorphic, long word, terminology for what the Egyptians called the Ka. It was the self, the soul self that is connected to all other spiritual things. It could be the Hebrew concept of the Ruach, or the Greek concept of the Pneuma, the spirit, the energy that is us, but that is some immutable, invisible force. And in the particular healing art, rather than the martial art, we're talking about universal life force energy tuned to the frequency of healing. And there's a couple modalities of it, a couple varieties of the energy that they're channeling in the practice of Reiki. But for the most part, it is a touch-free usage or channel transmission of healing energies practiced from one person to another, a group of people, even on objects. This energy is not created nor destroyed, right? Just like we know all energy. It is accessed, it is harnessed, it is channeled. I will take a second to discuss Reiki. The creator or the founder of the particular art we know as Reiki is from a Japanese man named Masao Usui, and he was born in the late 1800s, and he mastered this practice of energy healing, and it is passed on from generation to generation, master to teacher, practicing this art. And what I will discuss today is my introduction to Reiki, when I got started, and what it's done for me thus far. Reiki I was introduced to through an intuitive development course, and a good friend of mine actually years ago was a practitioner of Reiki, but I really didn't take it seriously. I was not in the same real spiritual space. Definitely was not in the space for healing or self-care. And honestly, last year, during the pandemic in 2020, when I first decided that I wanted to practice and get certified in Reiki, I didn't really know how much it was going to transform my life. I was already in therapy, trying to heal myself psychologically, trying to heal myself emotionally. But this practice energetically put me in a place that I was not really prepared for. It propelled me into a future of sorts, a dimension that I physically was not in yet. There are 5 principles that a Reiki practitioner learns. And I'll discuss those with you now because I think they're very relevant to how they impacted my life. First and foremost, you acknowledge that there's this universal life force energy and that you're going to be a channel for spirit, for the higher power, for God, or for whatever force you want to call this, the Atman in the Hindu faith. You are the vessel of the source energy, and that in service to your fellow humans and to your fellow earthlings, that you're going to allow and channel and be a clear channel or a medium for divine miraculous healing power. So what does that mean? Does that mean that you are now pure, you no longer carry ill will and negative energy with you? Obviously not, but the means of healing others first must come through you because you are the vessel, so you must learn how to heal yourself first. And that's in practice and in theory. So in theory, I didn't really think I was worth the practice. I didn't think I was pure enough. I didn't hold self-value enough. Was I conscious of this at the time that I started? No, absolutely not. But as I got started, the first practice was detoxification. And at the time I was drinking, smoking, indulging in some illicit activities here and there. And I really had no plan on changing because I didn't necessarily believe I was abusing myself or was abusing my body or abusing anyone else. But I come to find out I was holding a lot of anxiety, I was holding a lot of depression, I was holding a lot of anger. And those things were actually bringing me into that place where I was subjecting myself to intoxication, subjecting myself to the need to escape through substances or behavior that was self-destructive. And I can say all this shit now with with my spiritual voice on, as if I'm healed, but the work, it's still a progressive work. But I'll tell you, from where I have come, feeling unworthy, feeling like I could not be of service, the messaging, the spiritual energy, the practice itself of the lack of confidence, the lack of belief, the lack of trust in my own intuition, my lack of power or confidence in who I was, began to unlock and show me these significant needs for healing within my own self. And one of the greatest parts of that process, and I'm going to stand up. I know that may not be the proper video etiquette, but I'm going to stand up because I'm going to grab this painting real quick. Boom! See how fast I did that? Grabbed it off the wall. This painting right here. It's like show and tell, you all. These are the 4 Reiki symbols. And we're going to start here with this one here. This is called the Choku Rei, which means power. And these were actually all painted by myself. They were painted based upon 4 Reiki stones, and we'll probably get into those later, that are made from a crystal called lapis lazuli, known for its magical properties and healing powers. And do you know how long it took me to paint this? It took me a long time. It took me gaining the confidence that this was something I could do. This was something I was worth doing. Something I had not... I was holding a lot of shame. I was holding a lot of guilt. But it did require some of those physical steps, stepping away from some of those practices so I could see a purer version of myself. I could be more sensitive to that energy. That was huge for me. These symbols, the power symbol, the emotion symbol, the master symbol, and the distance symbol, are all modalities. They're just methods of channeling the universal life force energy to heal other people. And do you know how many things are also doing that? Do you know how our hopes and our prayers and our aspirations and our wishes are constructive means of our own self-healing? So it wasn't just Reiki I was learning. I was learning Cognitive behavioral therapy, also kind of parallel or corresponding to this. But through those other journeys of sobriety and sensitivity and learning how to process my emotions, I became sensitive to my own emotions, so I could become sensitive to the emotions of others. I could channel positive feelings. I could notice when they were there. I could see the gaps. I could feel lack. I could sense my own sense of fear or scarcity or worry or doubt. Which brings us to the principles of Reiki. There's 5 things that as I was bringing Reiki into my ritual practice, I was already meditating. I was already giving myself some time in the evening, in the morning. Lord knows how hard this was to build these habits, to have mindfulness, to listen to my mind, listen to my heart, listen to my gut, feel my intuition. And this spiritual practice allowed me to take a back seat to all that and watch and observe the patterns and habits of my emotional behavior and inject or allow and accept what I knew this choku ray, this power to represent, to allow power to flow through me. It first went to me, then through me. And to see it expose all the flaws, the wounds, and I would say to myself, I am not mad. And I'm going to talk about these 5 principles. I am not worried. I give thanks. Some of you folks that are in recovery may know what I'm talking about here. I work diligently. Now, some of you that know about those 4 agreements might realize that means pretty much I do my best. And finally, I'm kind. I'm kind to every living thing and every living creature. That's a pretty tall order. That's not easy. Those are aspirational values, right? Those are like, yeah, in a perfect world. In a perfect world, I don't get mad. Of course we all get mad. Are we mad now, or are we presently mad? Can we resolve our anger, or can we allow it? Can we let it go even for this moment of meditation? Can we let it go even for this moment of dedication? Reminding myself that I'm dedicated to these principles every day. So when I was mad, when I was worried, it was a matter of how can I let this go? Or how can I just feel this and just open myself up to the universal healing to nurture my worry, to nurture my anger. One of the first vehicles is that, like I said, anyone who's in recovery knows one of the first vehicles to overcome resentment, to overcome our hang-ups and our emotional blocks is thanks, is gratefulness and appreciation. And as funny as it sits in the crux of those 5 principles, that I give thanks. And it's like I turn it around. It's like these negative confessions. I am not mad. I'm not worried. But I do. This is the things I don't do, but this is what I do. I give thanks. I give thanks. And then I work diligently. I do my best. And our best is not the same every day, but if we leave it on the court, we're not measuring ourselves by external goals. We're not measuring ourselves by how much money we made, how many people followed us, how other people validated us. But that I tried, I gave an effort. And that taught me focus. That taught me consistency. That taught me rhythm. That I'm just going to give my best. Even if I can just say that every day, I'm going to do my best. That's a part of it. That I went from a place that was unorganized. I didn't have habits. I didn't have confidence. I couldn't even finish this painting. This thing took me months. It took me months to finish this painting. But when it was done, I could see that I could achieve. I could master something. I could master something. And we're going to talk about this. This is just my introduction to Reiki. We're going to talk about each symbol, why they're important, how you can practice them in your own life. But my journey through Reiki, my journey to coming to a place of familiarity with universal life force energy within myself and within the world around me and being sensitive to it, the magnetic attraction that is around us at all points in time. And we're going to talk about that. We're going to practice that. We're going to find those healing sources within us and we're going to find ways to know for sure and have absolute confidence in our healing. So, again, this is first the vortex, as Abraham Hicks always talks about. We're going to find our power, we're going to find our emotion, we're going to find our clarity, we're going to find healing in just these first principles, just these first steps. It's going to be so much more. I'm going to do meditations. I'm going to do healing sessions with you. We're going to do chakra clearings. We're going to learn about all this spiritual stuff. We're going to learn all the vocabulary. And guess what? I'm going to drop a couple curse words every now and again. Oh, I know. But that's where I'm at in my healing path. I ain't the full sage yet. I might burn some sage, but I ain't the full sage yet. So thank you so much. We will continue on this path and on this journey, and I'll be releasing more and more videos as we're gonna come kick some ass. Reiki video or not, we're going to overcome some blocks. We're going to overcome some significant healings or hurts, dis-eases, that we could find that place of ease in our life. Thanks, and peace be with you.